On Monday, the House passed a proposal that would add new lease requirements to Minnesota statutes. Representative Knorr sponsors House File 495. The Minneapolis DFLer said his proposal aims to strengthen protections for renters in the landlord-tenant relationship.
This is about fairness. This is about equity. This is about consumer protection. And I'm asking for your support for this bill. It's not only about the University of Minnesota. It's not only about Minneapolis or St. Paul. This is for every tenant.
House File 495 would make several changes to state lease requirements, including the requirement that leases identify the specific unit that will be rented in a lease between a tenant and a landlord when the building has 12 or more units. Critics argued that while this may help some in the metro area, it will limit landlord flexibility and increase vacancy rates in other parts of the state.
We heard multiple amendments, but the one thing I heard was slumlords. I didn't hear affordable housing, because the solution for Minneapolis is not a solution for my area, probably for a lot of our areas. One size does not fit all.
House File 495 was approved as amended and sent to the Senate. On Tuesday, House DFL leaders held a press conference to announce their new transportation budget for the upcoming biennium. The proposal calls for a new constitutionally dedicated revenue to pay for safe, reliable roads and bridges.
The Minnesota Values budget makes significant, honest investments to address the safety risks posed by our aging infrastructure and will improve our transit system. Minnesotans have had enough of our crumbling infrastructure. It's time to take real action.
This morning, we are joining Governor Walz in offering Minnesotans a choice between crumbling roads, bridges that are structurally deficient, a mass transit system that falls further and further behind our competitors in other parts of the country, and a choice between potholes and pavement.
The proposed 20 cents per gallon gas tax increase would be phased in over 4 years and raise roughly $600 million in new revenue over the upcoming biennium and over $1 billion in 2022-2023.
This gas tax will be phased in over 4 years, 1 nickel per year, and it will meet the state's established road and bridge needs.
Republicans have criticized the DFL proposal, saying that it would raise more taxes, take more money, and make life more expensive for Minnesota families. On Wednesday, Governor Tim Walz gave his first State of the State address to the legislature. The governor encouraged lawmakers to compromise on a biennial budget deal before the end of session and to make progress on policies encompassing health care, education, transportation, and community development.
It's easier to cover the plane that crashes than the one that lands. But I'll tell you right now the story that we told, and the story that not just Minnesota needs, but the country needs, is a bipartisan and a split government that came together in the good of the people and moved things forward for Minnesota. That's what we can do.
Following the governor's roughly 30-minute speech, House leadership responded to the governor's theme of cooperation.
Part of what we're here to do is have conflict. So not every day is going to be kumbaya, and you can't really judge the progress of a session until it has concluded. We should have vigorous disagreement about those areas where we have differences of opinion, and that doesn't mean that it bodes ill for the ending.
We have a very low bar to clear after the last legislative session in the last several years. We already have much stronger relationships with Senate Republicans and the governor, and so we have every reason to expect that we can come together as much as we possibly can and not leave anything on the table that Minnesotans would expect us to get done together.
House Minority Leader Kurt Daudt agreed with the call for bipartisanship and cooperation, but remained skeptical on the governor's One Minnesota budget proposal.
We can't be so easily and so ready to just increase taxes all of the time. We're already, by some accounts, the highest tax state in the nation. And the governor's proposals of $3.4 billion on top of all of the taxes that Minnesotans pay at a time when we have a surplus looks like an extreme approach to solve a problem.
The House wrapped up the week approving House Majority Leader Ryan Winkler's driver's license for all proposal off the House floor. House File 1500 would, in part, allow a person to obtain a driver's license or Minnesota identification card without providing proof of legal presence in the United States. Winkler spoke about his bill during a press conference ahead of Friday's House floor session.
Before 2003, Minnesota didn't care whether you were documented or undocumented when you went to apply for a driver's license. If you could pass the test, and buy insurance, you could be on the road. That changed 16 years ago, and since that time, immigrants in Minnesota have been facing a lot more hardship than otherwise is necessary. People have trouble getting to work, taking care of family, and doing the things that Minnesotans expect to be able to do on a daily basis. Make no mistake, immigrants, whether they are documented or undocumented, are Minnesotans. They are part of the fabric of our communities. They belong here. They contribute to our economy. They contribute to our communities. And it's time that we help take away the shadow of not having a driver's license and take back the notion in Minnesota that everybody has dignity, everybody has a place here, and that everyone matters.
After a lengthy floor debate, House File 1500 was approved as amended and sent to the Senate. For more nonpartisan coverage of the Minnesota House of Representatives, check out our Session Daily coverage on the House website, www.house.mn/sessiondaily.